Good morning, KU. It's Halloween. I'm Lily Stewart.
And I'm Teresa Smith. So, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I mean, I had practice Saturday, then me and my fiance went out. We were a purge couple.
You were a purge couple? Seriously?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, he wanted to be scary. I was like, okay. So.
We have a picture that actually, you guys look so cute.
Thanks. How was your weekend?
You know, I kept low-key. I wasn't feeling well. All my friends, however, went to a concert festival called Voodoo. It has a Snapchat filter if you saw that. You didn't?
Tell me about Voodoo.
So it's a music festival. It was all weekend. It was Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
And it was in New Orleans at City Park. And pretty much the weekend went.
Okay.
The weekend was like Friday night. Chainsmokers was like Sunday. Bunch of other acts. G-Eazy actually went on and was in full Joker costume. And so the joke is that like a lot of people who are there are now going to dress up as Harley Quinn. So we'll see if that's actually the thing. It's probably already going to be a thing. But yeah, so.
Okay. Is it a one-day thing? Or
No,
like...
it was all weekend. So
Really?
It was 3 days of like all the biggest acts. And it was pretty cool. My friends were there, so I got a bunch of Snapchats and made me feel really guilty for not going.
I gotcha. Were the tickets for one day a piece, or was it for the whole?
Honestly, I'm pretty positive there was like the whole, you can buy individual usually, but like normally you just buy the whole set because it's cheaper than just buying an individual.
Fair
Get
enough.
them early enough.
I got you.
Yeah.
Any big plans for tonight?
I actually have a concert tonight. So.
What concert?
Snails. It's in Midland. So. Gonna do that with a bunch of people.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, you?
Well, my car's in the shop, so after our Halloween row today, I'm gonna go pick that up.
What's wrong with your car?
I think my alternator busted over the weekend. I was driving back from work, and all the lights on my dashboard just started flickering on and off, but I could still gas it. And so I got it. I pulled over somewhere, and my dad came and picked me up because I couldn't get it back started. He jumped it, and we got it back to my house, but we went out. Yeah, so.
Great weekend for you.
Pretty much, yeah. So, any big plans for the rest of the week?
Honestly, no. I'm just trying to get through this week after tonight.
I gotcha. Actually, yeah, on Friday, the rowing team leaves. We race in Tulsa against Tulsa and SMU. There might be another team there also. So it's a 2-day thing. We race small boats Friday and large boats Saturday, which I'm excited about. It's our first fall away meet. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of rowing, you said something about the Halloween row. What's that?
Okay, so every Halloween we get to dress up in costumes and go out and row, and it's like a laid-back practice. It's just like a, ooh, picture time, pretty much. No. So today we found out our coach for the varsity, we have to come and practice hard before we go out, but with the last 30 minutes of practice, we get to go out in the water in costumes, and so.
How hard is that to do?
In costumes?
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a lot harder.
I don't know. He tells us wear rowable things. So me and a couple of my buddies, we're being the 3 blind mice. So we're just wearing black and sunglasses, and we have little ears. And so a lot of people wore onesies last year, and so.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen someone wear during that?
Last year, a friend of mine was a nun. Here's some other things that people are being for Halloween. Clowns are pretty common.
I don't like that.
Harley Quinn. A girl that works at Good Morning KU was a skeleton this weekend. This is Miss Lauren Jerome.
Her makeup looks amazing.
Looking stunning with the skeleton makeup. Aww. Pablo Escobar. So cute.
That's an interesting one. Anything else you've seen that's great? What other Halloween costumes?
Oh, geez. I don't know. There was a kid this weekend that was a dinosaur. Like,
what do you mean a dinosaur?
Like had a big inflatable dinosaur costume. All right. Coming up next, we'll have Derek Johnson as a guest.
shop local in the heart of the city, you support the people that make our community thrive. The money you spend here stays here, in this place we call our home. Lawrence, Kansas, where there's good old-fashioned hometown pride. Eat local, drink local, shop local.
Welcome back to Good Morning KU. Nick Cousin alongside the voice of KU Volleyball, Derek Johnson. And Derek, it was a good weekend for KU Volleyball. They beat Texas for the first time since 2003. And it seems like you're a good luck charm for the team.
I would hope so.
They went to the Final Four in your first season last year, and for the second time this year, you're calling the games. So how did you get involved with that process?
Just last year as a student working with KJHK, they had some applications to be put out with the Kansas volleyball team. So applied, got the gig, and this year was lucky enough to be brought back, and it's been a great time, great opportunity ever since.
Now, what's the best moment, experience, story?
Gosh, I don't know how you can't go for the USC match in the Elite Eight last year that put Kansas to the Final Four. They were down 13-9 in the fifth set, went on a 6-0 run to win 15-13. It was just pure joy, pure jubilation, just from everyone. You're hugging staff members, you're hugging teammates. There's players crying. Everyone's just so excited, and it's one of the best sports moments I've ever been around in my life.
Now your experience is a little bit different than other media because you got to travel with the team. You're right up close with the team. You get to be at practices. So what kind of things do you kind of see that nobody else sees?
I think you see how much hard work these girls put into it, and how much they practice, how much they have to do repetitively with so many different drills just to keep going. And we don't always see that. You think volleyball, just there's 2 matches every week, but they're practicing almost every day of the week, and they're working so hard, and you get to see some of the drills, and you get to see some of the strengths and weaknesses of the girls and how they work on improving them and masking some of those difficulties. And you see how well they play together and how much they love each other in the practice gym.
And so how, as far as over the 2 years, how far have you seen this team come?
Oh, they've come a long way. I mean, just from where the program was, it was a good program, a program that was making the NCAA tournament. And then you take a huge jump last year to the NCAA tournament. Now this year, you're contending to try and win your first ever Big 12 title. And it's just been huge leaps and bounds, and give a lot of credit to Coach Bouchard, give a lot of credit to the players he's brought in, and a lot of it has to do with that big recruiting class they brought in a couple years ago with Anise Havili, Kelsey Payne, the list goes on and on.
And what have they been doing this year that they've been doing so well? What's been working for them?
Well, the defense has been outstanding. They have one of the best defenses in the entire country. Early on, the offense was a bit shaky, or it wasn't quite, at least from what we saw last year, because last year was a more complete team at the beginning. You had some games in Europe over the summer. You had senior like Tiana Dockery. Now some new faces coming in this year. So the offense wasn't as good as it was last year early on, but since that point, since Big 12 play has started, the offense has really picked up, and we're starting to see what we saw last year offensively, but all year long, the defense has been great, the serving's been great, and that's been part of the great defense as well.
Yeah, you talked about Kelsey Payne and Anise Havili, 2 All-Americans from last year. What makes them so good?
Oh, man, they just have the perfect connection. It has to help that they're the same year and that they came up together. But obviously with Payne, just physically dominant. When you're 6'3" and you have a higher vertical than pretty much every girl on the court, you're going to be able to hit over the block. And she's just been fantastic with that and really made a smooth transition into a 6-rotation player. That's been what's really nice to see, and that allows her to make some extra attacks out of the back row. She's in the game a little longer. For Anise Havili, just getting the timing right with all her players, and just such a fierce competitor. I think that's what everyone can love about her and what everyone can just absolutely adore. She's always into the match, and she's always going to be maybe the most competitive girl on the court.
And where do you think this team could go this year?
Oh, I mean, I think the sky's the limit for this team. We saw Final Four last year. You return a wealth of talent this year. Some of the new players are growing, as obviously early on in the season, just freshmen, but players like Jada Burse are playing a lot better, and as the team grows, and you saw beating Texas, who was the #2 team in the country. So if you can beat them, why can't you beat anybody?
And you think that the experience is just that much better this year, already being in the Final Four last year?
Yeah, that has to help, obviously. I mean, I think if you get in a situation in the NCAA tournament, you're not necessarily scared of the bright lights because you've been there before.
And who is somebody that, as Jayhawk fans, should look out for as kind of like an underdog?
Let's go with Kayla Cheadle. I mean, she just, Zoe Hill had a bit of an injury, and so Kayla Cheadle had to step into the lineup for her. And since that has happened, Kayla Cheadle's been fantastic. And this is a girl who, as a freshman, started several games early on, but then eventually got slid out of the starting rotation. Last year didn't play much, but this year, even without playing early on in the season to Zoe Hill, a freshman, she stayed committed, she stayed strong, she kept working in the practice gym, and she's just been outstanding.
And where can we listen to the games?
Yeah, kuathletics.com/radio. Some games are on select radio stations as well, but always on kuathletics.com/radio.
All right, Derek, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you listen to all the games, even the away games, especially Wednesday night at Kansas State. That'll be a big one. Make sure you listen to Derek. Thank you, and we'll be back with news.
Welcome back, I'm Abby.
And I'm Gabby. This is your Good Morning KU News update. 2 Kansas City, Kansas men have been charged with beating and robbing an 82-year-old Catholic priest. According to the Kansas City Star, the 2 men struck Reverend Thomas Kearns in the face and knocked him unconscious outside the Blessed Sacrament Church. Kearns underwent surgery to repair facial bones and is recovering.
The protests at the North Dakota pipeline construction site are building steam. The Standing Rock Sioux tribe is challenging to oppose the 1,200-mile pipeline that is scheduled to run through sacred tribal land.
Kansas cross-country men's and women's teams competed in the Big 12 tournament this weekend. The women came in 6th place and the men placed in 4th. Sophomore Sharon Lokiti finished in 1st place and for the first time in women's program history captured an individual league title.
Kansas football lost to Oklahoma this weekend 56-3. The Jayhawks are now 1-7 for the season. The next game will be an away game Saturday, November 5th against West Virginia. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m.
And of course, the biggest sports news of the weekend was the volleyball team's big victory over Texas. The Jayhawks knocked off the number 2 ranked Longhorns in 5 sets on Saturday night to move into a first-place tie in the Big 12 Conference. The victory was KU's first over Texas since 2003.
That's all we have for today's news update. Everyone have a safe and happy Halloween, and we'll see you again tomorrow for 10 a.m. for Good Morning KU.